Hello and good evening. Where, after all, do universal human rights begin? In small places, close to home, so close and so small that they cannot be seen on any maps of the world? It is true when Martin Luther King said that a right delayed is a right denied. In 1948, the aftermath of the Second World War resulted in the adoption of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights by the United Nations. Since then, we have made huge strides in protecting universal rights. But it is also true that we have faltered on our journey till this date. Whether it was the abduction of thousands of kids in Nigeria, or the crackdown of the LGBT community in or the migrant workers in Qatar who were unpaid for months of work on FIFA World Cup. There has been countless violations of basic and civil human rights. Any type of violation is a harm and threat to human rights, and each step taken in the direction to protect these rights is in the interest of peace, is the need of the hour. That is why today, on Human Rights Day, 10th December, we are choosing to take the path that brings us towards a future with equality at its core. As we look forward to 2022, I hope that we come together and recognize the fact that as a community, we cannot move ahead even if one of us is left behind. The theme of 2021 is equality, reducing inequalities, advancing human rights. On behalf of Rashtriya Manavadhikar Seva Trust, I welcome you all to our webinar, and our eminent speakers this evening are Professor Dr. M.K. Bajpai, Pro-Chancellor, IRC University, Chairman, Humanity Tech India. He is also the Vice Chancellor of Capital University and Co-Chairman, ASSOCHAM. Our very eminent guest of honor tonight is Swami Suparnananda Maharaj Ji, Secretary, Ramakrishna Mission, Institute of Culture, Gulbarga. Shri Atal Bihari Bajaj, the founder president of Rashtriya Manavadhikar Seva Trust. The organization has grown in length and breadth and is in 20 states at present. Bobby Chakraborty, the actor for the last 19 years in TV, films and theatre in Bengali, Hindi and English. Academically a marine engineer, a teacher of method acting, a social activist, advisor and winner of Shrestha Samman, Ashadhanan Samman, Banglar Golpo and so on. The list is endless. Dr. Karthik Chaudhary, the Assistant Professor of Hindi and Head of the Department of Maharaja Shorish Chandra College. He is also the author of a textbook and was awarded by Dr. Ambedkar Srijan Samman in 2021. Our next very eminent guest is Shashinath Mondal, Associate Professor at Hooghly Mohsin College and Deputy Director of Public Instructions, West Bengal. We will straight away go to our speakers, and my first speaker is Swamiji. Ramakrishna Mission is a well-known and reputed non-governmental organization serving the society in India and abroad, irrespective of caste, color, creed, religion, nationality, gender, religion, biases, etc. Through its vast network of nearly 200 branch centers in the field of education, culture, and spiritual activities, health, relief and rehabilitation, rural and tribal development, publications, teaching and preaching, and we are fortunate to have with us Swamiji. Swamiji, I would like to know from you how human rights can be made culturally sensitive in today's era.
Jananing Sharadang Devi Ramakrishnam Jagat Gurum Pada Padmitayo Sitwa Pranamami Muhurnu So hearty welcome to you all, ma'am and other speakers. So since this is about human rights and its application in society, implementation in society, I would first say to you that human rights are all written in the Constitution book. People who are going to execute it would have to be very special men. And there, I want to pick out the persons, the qualities of the persons who would be efficient enough to introduce and apply this in the society. Now, as I have been told to say to you about the cultural sensitivity of maintaining human rights, or human rights can be made culturally sensitive. How? That is a big topic. Since you have picked up culture to be the central theme for the application of these human rights in society, I will exclusively deal with this topic alone. Now, before culture, we have to come back to the state of animality. You see, in the primitive age, human quality, human people, humans, they are all full of animal qualities. That's why they are called savages. Now, it takes hundreds of births to build up a tradition, good tradition, based on good habits, on fellow feeling. After that, it takes centuries of traditions to build up a civilization. And it takes up centuries of civilizations to build up a culture, and the force of strength that unites and protects centuries of culture is called spirituality. Now, this has been observed by Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, our past president. So we have to move from savage state of our existence to a state of civilization, then to state of culture, and then to the state of religion or spirituality. Now, at the level of civilization, there may be high development, high mass consumption, but people in general are selfish. They're selfish by nature, and they love enjoyment. Thereby, they exploit others. And they do not grant any freedom to others if they stand in the way of enjoyment to the person who is civilized. Now, that civilization, the state of civilization has to be overcome by, say, oiling up the spirit of culture. Civilization is the development outside, and culture is the development within. So mental development, mentally we have to be much more polished, much more sacrificing. And then this sacrificing people, they can accommodate others. They are more or less selfless. But still, we have to depend upon more or the most on the people who are spiritually elevated. For example, I say that Kumbhakarna is the example of the animal quality. Vibhishan, Ravana is the example of the Rajasic quality. Ravana's civilization, he's a man of civilization. So there he won't grant any freedom, any right, human rights to other people. And Vibhishan is a man of culture. And Vibhishan lives for others. He's full of sattva gunas or sattvic attributes. Mind that. The last one, man of spirituality is Sri Rama. Now I want you to concentrate on making all people who are going to execute all these things to become, say, Ramas or Buddhas or Vivekananda or Sri Ramakrishna or Shankaracharya. It's very difficult. But we can fall back upon more on the state of culture, at the level of culture. We can raise our mind and then alone we can hold on to a high principle of equity, and we can put an end to exploitation and all sorts of tortures that we do personally to humans. So if and unless from our own minds we can remove all this baser quality, the love for enjoyment of things for ourselves, we cannot give freedom to others. That's why I feel that basically human nature is to violate the rules and regulations, and when they are allowed to suffer because of their decisions of exploiting others, they cannot be relied upon. And that's why I feel that not apathy, not sympathy even, but good deal of empathic feeling we must possess, and that must work at the level of culture. So we are to be very much sensitive culturally in order to give others their rights, and we can feel less of ourselves and more for others. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Shri Atal Bihari Bajaj. दुनिया के हर हिस्से में गैर सरकारी संगठन NGO दिन के हर घंटे काम कर रहे हैं, जो समाज के निचले पायदान पर खड़े महिलाओं, बच्चों और निम्न वर्ग के साथ हो रहे अन्याय का दस्तावेजीकरण करने के लिए तत्पर है। राष्ट्रीय मानवाधिकार सेवा ट्रस्ट इस उद्देश्य को पूरा करने के लिए आज 20 राज्यों में अस्तित्व में है। सर, मैं आपसे यह जानना चाहूंगी कि असमानता के इस मुद्दे को कैसे हल करने जा रहे हैं आप? न्याय और समान समाज की स्थापना में आप किन मुद्दों और अवसरों का सृजन अपने ट्रस्ट के द्वारा करेंगे?
आज की वेबिनार में उपस्थित सभी बुद्धिजीवी गणों को एवं समस्त देशवासियों को मानवाधिकार दिवस की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं और बधाई देना चाहूँगा। आज मैं जो असमानता से समानता की तरफ ले जाने के लिए मैं कुछ थोड़ा सा संक्षिप्त में बताने की कोशिश करूँगा। भारत का संविधान समस्त नागरिकों को समानता के लिए आश्वस्त करता है। इसके बावजूद लोगों का रोजमर्रा का जीवन समानता से कोसों दूर है। लोगों को जीवन की वास्तविकता स्थिति पर ध्यान नहीं दिया गया था। समानता को पाने के लिए प्रतिबद्धता सरकार का मुख्य कार्य है, जैसा हम सभी लोग भली बात जानते हैं। समानता लोकतंत्र की मुख्य विशेषता है। जैसा हम सभी भली बात जानते हैं कि समानता लोकतंत्र की मुख्य विशेषता है। इसकी कार्यप्रणाली सभी पहलुओं को प्रभावित करती है। भारतीय संविधान सभी व्यक्तियों को समान मानता है, लेकिन इसके बावजूद भी हम सब यह नहीं कह सकते कि असमानता खत्म हो गई। शासन संविधान द्वारा मान्य किए गए समानता के अधिकारों को दो तरह से लागू किया है। सरकार की योजना और कार्यक्रमों द्वारा सुविधाहीन समाज की मदद करना, शासकीय कार्य अवसरों की समानता बढ़ाने में, शासकीय कार्यक्रम अवसरों की समानता बढ़ाने में महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभा रहे हैं, किंतु अभी बहुत कुछ करना बाकी है। आवश्यकता है मध्याह्न भोजन कार्यक्रम में निर्धन बच्चों का उपस्थिति और प्रवेश तो स्कूलों में बढ़ा दिया गया, मगर फिर भी देश में वे स्कूल जहां अमीरों के बच्चे पढ़ने जाते हैं और उन स्कूलों से बहुत अलग हैं जहां गरीबों के बच्चे पढ़ने जाते हैं। ऐसा इसीलिए है कि कानून बन जाने के बावजूद भी उसे लोग मानने से इनकार करते हैं। दृष्टिकोण बहुत धीरे धीरे परिवर्तन, हम सब जानते हैं कि दृष्टिकोण में परिवर्तन बहुत धीरे धीरे आता है। यदि लोग जानते हैं कि भेदभाव का व्यवहार कानूनन अपराध है, वर्तमान दृष्टिकोण को बदलना तभी संभव है जब लोगों को विश्वास हो जाएगा कि कोई भी किसी से कम नहीं है। प्रजातंत्री समाज में समानता स्थापित करना एक सतत संघर्ष है, जिसमें व्यक्तियों को व समाज व संगठन को सहयोग करने की बहुत जरूरत है। राष्ट्रीय मानवाधिकार सेवा ट्रस्ट समानता से असमानता की लड़ाई को लड़ने के लिए निम्न प्रकार से प्रयासरत है। असमानता से समानता की ओर ले जाने के लिए शिक्षा का बहुत बड़ा रोल होता है। बहुत बड़ी भूमिका होती है। जब तक लोग शिक्षित नहीं होंगे तब तक असमानता की दीवार नहीं टूट सकती। राष्ट्रीय मानवाधिकार सेवा ट्रस्ट देश के में सबसे पहले मानवाधिकार के प्रति लोगों को जागरूक बनाने के लिए अभियान चलाएगा। सेमिनार, गोष्ठियां, लोगों के डोर टू डोर मिल करके उनको उनके अधिकारों के बारे में तो समझाने के लिए प्रयासरत होंगे। इसके अलावा मानवाधिकार के ही प्रकार के बोर्ड बना रहा है, जिसमें क्योंकि मानवाधिकार असमानता से समानता में लाने के लिए सबसे पहला जो दो सरकार ने अधिकारों को मान्यता दी है, एक कानून, दूसरा सरकारी योजनाओं और कार्यक्रम का संचालन करना। ये दो ही बातें हम पब्लिक तक ले जाएंगे। कानून जो पटल है उसके माध्यम से लोगों को समानता की तरफ ले जाने का एक विश्वास है। उसमें हम लोगों ने एक तहसील स्तर से लेकर के सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक एक कानूनी सलाहकार पैनल बोर्ड बनाया गया है। इसके अलावा पुलिस सलाहकार बोर्ड बनाया गया है, स्वास्थ्य सलाहकार बोर्ड भी है। इस माध्यम से हम देश के हर नागरिक को हर उसकी जो आवश्यकताएं हैं, मूलभूत जो सुविधाएं हैं, उनसे जो वंचित हैं, उनके लिए हम योजना बना रहे हैं और उनको हम कैसे उन तक पहुंचाएं और सरकार की जो योजनाएं हैं, योजनाएं और पब्लिक के बीच में लोगों का तालमेल। मानवाधिकार पुलिस प्रकोष्ठ भी तैयार किया हुआ है, उसमें पुलिस से रिलेटेड लोग उसमें रखे जा रहे हैं। कानूनी सलाहकार बोर्ड में कानून अधिवक्ता गणों को रखा जाएगा। शिक्षा, क्योंकि हम ये बात जानते हैं जब तक हम देश में शिक्षा के स्तर को ऊंचा नहीं करेंगे तब तक हमारे देश का विकास होना असंभव। उसके लिए हम शिक्षा सलाहकार बोर्ड का एक बना रहे हैं। उसमें एक रूरल एरिया में एक प्राइमरी से लेकर के और उसमें उच्च कोटि की एजुकेशन के लोग उसमें इंक्लूड किए जाएंगे, जिस स्तर पर लोग वहां पर शिक्षा को देखरेख कर सके। क्योंकि सरकार ने जो शिक्षा का स्ट्रक्चर बनाया है इसमें एक भेदभाव है। हम सब ये जानते हैं कि हमारा देश के नागरिक 85% रूरल एरिया में निवास करते हैं। रूरल एरिया की शिक्षा का स्ट्रक्चर देखिए कि वो कितना बर्बाद है। बच्चे को प्राइमरी से लेकर के 8-10 साल तक ऐसे उसको घुमाया जाता है कि वो बिल्कुल जीरो हो जाए, उसके बाद वो किसी मतलब का न रहे। तो इसलिए हम सब लोग एक शिक्षा पैनल सलाहकार बोर्ड भी बना रहे हैं, उसमें सभी शिक्षा से संबंधित लोगों को रखा जाएगा और वहां से प्राइमरी बेस से हम हर स्कूल में उसका एक पैनल बनाएंगे और वहां पर हम उन लोगों को शिक्षा के प्रति प्रेरित करेंगे। शिक्षकों को भी प्रेरित करेंगे कि आप एक शिक्षक हैं, आप एक समाज के निर्माण करता हैं, आपके हाथ में आने वाला देश का भविष्य है, ये आपके सामने है। इनको आप अपनी जिम्मेदारी के साथ, ईमानदारी के साथ इनको शिक्षा दीजिए। इस प्रकार से हम लोग प्रशासनिक सलाहकार बोर्ड भी चयन कर रहे हैं। उसमें प्रशासनिक लोग होंगे जो प्रशासनिक विभागों से जिन लोगों को मदद की जरूरत है वहां पर उनको भेजा जाएगा। और इसके अलावा महिला संरक्षण, क्योंकि हम ये जानते हैं कि जब तक हमारे देश में 3 चीजें मजबूत नहीं होंगी, पहला शिक्षा, दूसरा बच्चे, तीसरा महिलाएं, हमारी मातृशक्ति ही एक ऐसी है जो देश को सुधारने में बहुत बड़ा रोल अदा करेंगी। क्यों? बच्चों की परवरिश करने में एक माँ का बहुत बड़ा रोल होता है। अगर माँ ही हमारी अशिक्षित होगी, माँ ही हमारी कुपोषण होगी, तो बच्चा भी हमारा कुपोषण होगा, हमारी आने वाली पीढ़ी कुपोषण होगी। इसीलिए हम महिलाओं और बच्चों पर और शिक्षा पर विशेष अपना अथक प्रयास करके इस संस्था को आगे ले जाएंगे। आज की मीटिंग में हम सभी लोग जो आए हुए हैं, इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं अपनी बात को विराम दूंगा, क्योंकि समय का अभाव भी है। आप सबका आज के पैनल में मैं आप सबका हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूं और स्वागत करता हूं और मानवाधिकार दिवस की हार्दिक बधाई, शुभकामनाएं देता हूं।
Our next speaker is Dr. Karthik Chaudhary. मानव अधिकार दिवस मनाने का मकसद लोगों को उनके अधिकारों के प्रति जागरूक करना है। मैं डॉक्टर कार्तिक चौधरी से जानना चाहूंगी कि क्या अधिकार समाज के भीतर शांति की शुरुआत है और आने वाली पीढ़ियों के लिए एक निष्पक्ष समाज बनाने का तरीका है।
आशा करते हैं कि आप लोग मुझे सुन पा रहे होंगे। राष्ट्रीय मानवाधिकार का मैं विशेष आभार व्यक्त करता हूं कि आप लोगों ने मुझे यह मौका दिया। आज मंच पर स्वामी शुभानंद जी का हम लोगों ने लेक्चर सुना। साथ ही साथ संस्था के जो मुख्य हैं अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी सर का भी मैं काफी शानदार तरीके से जो उद्देश्य है वह सही में एक बेहतर राष्ट्र बनाने की प्रक्रिया है जिस पर बहुत कम लोग सोच रहे हैं। सभा में उपस्थित बॉबी चक्रवर्ती जी जो एक्टर हैं, हम सबके प्रिय डॉक्टर शशिनाथ मंडल सर और फेसबुक पर लाइव हमारे मित्र, हमारे सहपाठी, सबको विशेष और साथ ही सम्मानित मंच। बेहद ही महत्वपूर्ण है यह विषय। मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मैं मनुष्य हूँ और मनुष्यता के नाते मुझे सारे अधिकार मिलने चाहिए। यह परिकल्पना जब बनी होगी तो मुझे लगता है कि इस तरह की सोच हम सबके समक्ष आया होगा और तभी यह संगठन जो है इस रूप में कारगर हुई होगी। 2-3 प्रश्न जो है मुझे लगता है कि प्रश्न जो है वह जिज्ञासा की जननी होती है। मानव अधिकार की आवश्यकता क्यों है? यह आवश्यकता किसके लिए है? तो मैं ये बताना चाहूंगा कि नागरिक के जीवन जीने का अधिकार जो है वह मानव अधिकार, मानवीय गरिमा प्रदान करने का अधिकार मानव अधिकार के अंतर्गत है। मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मानव अधिकार जो है वह सभ्य समाज की पहचान भी और राजनीतिक और सामाजिक लोकतंत्र की अगर सफलता का अधिकार भी देखा जाए तो इसी मानव अधिकार से ही जुड़ा हुआ है। ये मानव अधिकार अगर सोचे कि किसके लिए होता है तो समाज के लोगों के बीच जो द्वेष, वैमनस्यता, वर्चस्व और शोषण है उसको समाप्त करना ही मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मानव अधिकार का उद्देश्य भी होना चाहिए, होता है। और उसको उसके प्रतिकार कर एक भ्रातृत्व का भाव, मैत्रित्व का भाव जो है ये मुझे लगता है कि मानव अधिकार के अंतर्गत है। देश की अधिकांश जनता अपने मौजूदा समय में भी मौलिक अधिकार से वंचित है और इसका सफल उदाहरण मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी ने दिया और उस पर काम करने की भी आवश्यकता है। मुझे लगता है कि मानव अधिकार का जो उद्देश्य होना चाहिए वह राजनीतिक दृष्टि से अगर देखें तो एक कल्याणकारी राज्य का निर्माण और सामाजिक दृष्टि से अगर देखें तो मानवीय समाज का निर्माण जो है इसके अंतर्गत है। इसी के अगर हम लोग इसके अगर थोड़ा सा ऐतिहासिक पृष्ठभूमि में अगर हम लोग जाएं तो इसका सफल उदाहरण हम देख सकते हैं जो कि हमारे संविधान में जो मौलिक अधिकार की अवधारणा थी और इसका जो पृष्ठभूमि है वहाँ वो मौजूद है। हम सबको पता है कि संविधान सभा के जो अध्यक्ष थे हमारे बाबा साहेब भीमराव अंबेडकर, उनको जानबूझकर हरा दिया गया था मुंबई से कि वह संविधान सभा में नहीं जा पाए और लेकिन इसका ये कारण रहा कि अगर नहीं जा पाए तो उन्होंने एक 1900 मार्च 1947 में संविधान सभा के जो अध्यक्ष थे उनको शेड्यूल कास्ट वेलफेयर फेडरेशन की ओर से एक ज्ञापन अब भेजा था जो मौजूदा समय में राज्य और अल्पसंख्यक नामक पुस्तक में वो उपलब्ध है। उसमें उन्होंने मौलिक अधिकार शब्द के बदले मानव अधिकार शब्द दिए थे और वह मानव अधिकार जो दिए थे मुझे लगता है कि उस पर हम सबको विचार करना चाहिए, जानना चाहिए, और उसी से संविधान में जो मौलिक अधिकार की अवधारणा है वहां से बनी है। उसमें उन्होंने दिया था कि कोई भी राज्य ऐसी कोई विधि या प्रथा नहीं बनाएगा जो नागरिकों के विशेष अधिकारों या उन्मुक्तियों का काम करे। कोई राज्य किसी नागरिक को जीवन, स्वतंत्रता और संपत्ति से वंचित नहीं करेगा। सभी नागरिक विधि के समक्ष समान होंगे। सभी नागरिकों को जनता के द्वारा जनता के लिए आरक्षित सभी संस्थाओं, सुविधा स्थलों और सुख सुविधा के स्थानों पर जो मनोरंजन के क्षेत्र हैं उन पर जाने का समान हक रहेगा। किसी भी नागरिक को अपने धर्म, पंथ, जाति, लिंग, सामाजिक स्थिति के कारण कोई सार्वजनिक पद ग्रहण करने से या कोई व्यापार या आजीविका चलाने से नहीं रोक पाएगा। प्रत्येक राज्य को अपने नागरिक को मानव अधिकार का संरक्षण करना पड़ेगा। बाद में हम लोगों ने देखा कि जो मौलिक अधिकार की अवधारणा है संविधान में, और उसमें मौलिक अधिकार जो में सबसे पहला जो भाग है वह समानता का अधिकार है। अभी हम लोग टेलीविजन, व्हाट्सएप और फेसबुक में चल रहा था कि एक बच्चे ने जब अंबेडकर साहब के बारे में अपनी स्पीच कहा तो उसे जूते का माला पहनाया कर घुमाया गया। यह इसी समाज में घट रहा है और इससे हम लोग अलग नहीं हो सकते, और इस पर मुझे लगता है कि विचार भी जरूरी है जब हम मानव अधिकार की बात करते हैं। और वो समानता का अधिकार जिसमें धर्म, मूल, वंश, जाति, लिंग, जन्म स्थान के आधार पर कोई किसी के साथ भेदभाव नहीं करेगा। दुकान, होटल, रेस्टोरेंट, सार्वजनिक जगहों पर जैसे लोक मनोरंजन के क्षेत्र, स्नान घाट, तालाब, कुआं, नदी, सड़क, मंदिर या किसी दूसरे सार्वजनिक जगहों पर किसी को प्रवेश करने से नहीं रोका जाएगा। अस्पृश्यता का मौलिक अधिकारों के तहत अंत कर दिया गया। समानता लाने के लिए अस्पृश्यता खत्म करना पड़ेगा। मैं खासकर मौलिक अधिकार के अंतर्गत इस समानता पर ही बात करना चाहूंगा। आए दिन हम सब देखते हैं कि अभी भी जो हमारे अनेक संस्थाएं हैं वह विशेष रूप से एक जो पारंपरिक व्यवस्था है उस व्यवस्था में बटी हुई हैं, और इसमें इसके अंतर्गत जो असमानता की खाई है वह बिल्कुल कम हुई है। लेकिन अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी सर जैसा कि कह रहे थे कि अभी भी जो 85% जो जनता है वह गांव की तरफ है और उसकी स्थिति बहुत अच्छी नहीं है। ये सच्चाई है, क्योंकि एक बड़े कवि रहे हैं हिंदी साहित्य के एन.आर. सागर। उन्होंने लिखा अपनी कविता में कि मेरा जन्म हुआ भारत की पावन भूमि पर, लेकिन माटी की गंध मुझे अनजानी लगती है। ये अद्भुत एक मामला है कि किसी एक विशेष जाति में होने के कारण उसे समाज से बेदखल कर दिया जाता है, उसे समाज से अस्पृश्यता की नजर से देखी जाती है। ये मौजूदा समय में भी व्यापक है। बहुत सारे लेखकों ने गांव पर खूब रचनाएं लिखी कि गांव की माटी की सुगंध उन्हें बहुत अच्छी लगती है, लेकिन अभी भी असमानता की खाई उस गांव की तरफ है और उस पर भी हमारी नजरदारी होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि जब तक हम उस तरफ नहीं जा सकते, उसका समाधान नहीं कर सकते, तो मुझे लगता है कि एक बेहतर भारत का निर्माण जो है वह संभव नहीं हो पाएगा। जो मानव अधिकार की परिकल्पना भी है, जैसा कि शिक्षा के क्षेत्र से ही सर बता रहे थे, तो वह परिकल्पना मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि वो पूरा नहीं कर पाएंगे। लेकिन समय के अनुसार चीजों में बदलाव हुई हैं, इसमें भी कोई दो राय नहीं है। बदलाव के बावजूद भी अभी हम लोग देख रहे हैं जैसा कि लैंगिक भेद की बात होती है, और उस स्थिति में भी अभी शादी विवाह के सीजन है और एक असमानता की खाई संविधान में जो दहेज का मामला है वो पूरा तरीके से निरस्त है, लेकिन उस पर कानूनी कार्रवाई की जा सकती है। लेकिन मौजूदा समय में उसका बोलबाला दिन पर दिन बढ़ते जा रहा है, और इस संदर्भ में स्वामी जी ने काफी अच्छा कहा कि मनुष्य और जानवर के बीच के जो अंतर है उसको भी हमें समझना होगा, क्योंकि एक बेहतर समाज बनाने के लिए यह बेहद जरूरी है कि एक स्वस्थ समाज का निर्माण कैसे हो। एक समय सती प्रथा था और वह शारीरिक रूप से अत्याचार किया जा रहा था, लेकिन मौजूदा समय में वह एक तरीके से मानसिक रूप से जो है वह मानसिक रूप से उस चिता पर बैठाया जा रहा है। तो एक असमानता की खाई इस तरीके से भी बनी हुई है। इस तरफ भी मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मानव अधिकार का यह आधार ही है कि एकता का बीज जो है वह समाज में उसको निकाल पाए, बो पाए। जैसा कि बजाज जी ने बखूबी उस पर कहा भी। हम लोग देखें कि असमानता की जो अवधारणाएं समाज में दिन पर दिन बढ़ रही है और इसे हम लोग अनजान नहीं हैं। अनजान नहीं है, इसके बावजूद इस पर बहुत सारे कड़े कानून जो है वह बनाए गए हैं। उसके बावजूद हम देखते हैं कि कोई दलित जो है वह गांव में घोड़ी पर चढ़कर बारात नहीं निकाल सकता, या फिर गांव से साइकिल पर चढ़कर वह किसी सवर्णों के मोहल्ले से नहीं जा सकता। यह छिपा नहीं है। यह मीडिया में प्राय दिन ये चीजें दिखाई देती हैं। और यह एक बड़ी सच्चाई भी है हमारे समाज की। अगर हम एक बेहतर समाज बनाने की परिकल्पना जब हम करते हैं, तो मुझे लगता है कि इस तरफ भी हमारा ध्यान जाना चाहिए, क्योंकि हम सबसे पहले मनुष्य हैं और मनुष्यता ही हमारा असली पहचान है। जैसा कि सौ बार ऊपरे मानुष मानुष ऊपरे क्यों नहीं, यह चंडीदास जी की पंक्ति है। और यह मुझे लगता है कि यह बेहतर समाज बनाने के निर्माण की प्रक्रिया में यह बहुत ही प्रमुख है। क्योंकि हम देखें कि जो हमारा समाज है, इस समाज में जो एक शिक्षा की खाई पर बात कर रहे थे सर, कि वो शिक्षा से कैसे वंचित किया जा रहा है, जो विलेज के बच्चे हैं जो 85% की तरफ है, और एक इस तरीके की मानसिकता तैयार की जा रही है कि जो मतलब तथाकथित बड़े स्कूल हैं वह दुनिया के सबसे अच्छा शिक्षा देते हैं, और एक जो सरकारी स्कूल है या सरकारी संस्थाओं को इस तरीके से नष्ट करने का भी काम मौजूदा समय में किया जा रहा है। तो यह एक मानसिकता है, और इस तरीके की मानसिकता जो है हमारे समाज में दी जा रही है कि एक रिक्शा वाला भी अपने बच्चे को सोच रहा है कि वह अपने बच्चे को वह उसी माध्यम, अंग्रेजी माध्यम की तरफ आकर्षित कर रहा है। कोई माध्यम खराब नहीं है, लेकिन मानसिकता उनकी खराब है, और वह इतना समाज में उसे प्रचारित किया जा रहा है कि वह उस तरीके से अपने जीवन के एक बहुत ही बहुमूल्य महत्वपूर्ण कमाई को वह उस अंग्रेजी की तरफ आकर्षित कर रहा है, उस माध्यम की तरफ आकर्षित कर रहा है। उस शिक्षा व्यवस्था, यानी आप देखिए कि शिक्षा व्यवस्था जो है वह दिन पर दिन महंगी होती जा रही है, और जो पब्लिक सेक्टर है वहाँ उसकी, आप सरकारी स्कूलों में देख लीजिए प्राइमरी सेक्शन, वहाँ बच्चों की दिन पर दिन कमियां होते जा रही है। तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि अगर हम शिक्षा भी हमारा मानव अधिकार का एक महत्वपूर्ण अंग है, जिस तरीके से हमें भोजन, जीवन जीने के लिए भोजन पानी की आवश्यकता है, उसी तरीके से मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जो शिक्षा है वो अभी भी हमारे बेसिक नीड्स में है। तो उस बेसिक नीड्स से अगर हम वंचित कर दे रहे हैं, तो स्वाभाविक सी बात है कि हम उस 85% जो जनता है उसके उसको छोड़कर हम बेहतर भारत का निर्माण जो है वह हम नहीं बना सकते। इस पर भी हमारा यह भी हमारा आधार होना चाहिए, और जबकि यह आधार है बेहतर समाज बनाने के लिए हम सबको आगे आना होगा, और हम सबको आगे आना होगा, इसलिए आना आगे, क्योंकि हम सबको दिखाई देता है इंडिया और भारत की जो बीच का जो अंतराल है वह बहुत ही बहुत ही वो ज्यादा अलग है। उसको हमें एक करने का काम जो है कि मानवाधिकार के तहत ही यह काम पूरा हो सकता है। तो आशा करते हैं कि इसको हम लोग समझेंगे और इस समानता के अधिकार को उस तरीके से ले जाएंगे कि एक बेहतर और स्वस्थ भारत का निर्माण जो है हम सब मिलकर कर पाए। और विशेषकर राष्ट्रीय मानव अधिकार सेवा ट्रस्ट की जो उद्देश्य है, और उस उद्देश्य के साथ मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि एक बेहतर समाज जो है हम लोग बना पाएंगे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, आप लोगों ने मुझे मौका दिया, मुझे सुना। आप सबका सादर अभिवादन, नमस्कार।
Our next speaker is Dr. S.N. Mandal. Ensuring that no one is left behind, How do we protect the poorest and the most vulnerable from the crisis and empower them to realize the SDGs, human right based approach to development, which is the best way to reduce inequalities and resume our path towards realizing the 2030 agenda?
Thank you very much. I am grateful to Rashtriya Manav Adhikar Seva Trust for providing me the opportunity to say a few words on the auspicious day of International Human Rights Day. I convey my good wishes to all to this Rashtriya Manav Adhikar Seva Trust for this Manav Adhikar Divas. Madam, as I have been listening all the speakers, it is really very learning, and especially human rights issues what have been discussed are really very much informative for me. See, I am from legal background, so basically I would like to give an idea about this human rights, the challenges, and the way forward, which will help the government and the NGOs and other social connected persons to move forward with these human rights issues. So basically, what you understand, the basic rights and the freedom that belong to every person in the world are called a right from his or her birth until his or her death. And though these are collectively termed as human rights, these rights are applicable regardless of where we are born, what we believe, and how we choose to live in our life. It allows that these human beings are fundamentally relevant to all of us, and not just to those who face repression or mistreatment, but to all. International Human Rights Day commemorates the adoption of Universal Declaration of Human Rights by the United Nations. We know that on this day, that is 10th December 1948, General Assembly adopted this, the biggest, one of the best instrument of international organization, that UDHR. And that was basically dealing with the basic rights or freedoms that are includes people's right to live, health, education, freedom of speech and thoughts, and of equal rights. This day is observed to promote equality, peace, justice, freedom, and the protection of human dignity. Every individual is entitled to rights whatever provided in the UDHR, irrespective of any race, color, religion, sex, language, and social status. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights sets out a broad range of fundamental rights also, what are included in our constitution as fundamental right, which all of us are entitled. It guarantees the right of every individual everywhere in the world without distinction based on nationality, place of residence, gender, national, ethnic groups, religion, language, or any kind of status. Although the declaration is not a binding document, it inspired more than 60 human rights instruments, which together constitutes an international standard of human rights. Today, the general consent of all United Nations members states on the basic human rights laid down in the declaration makes it even stronger and emphasizes the relevance of human rights in our daily lives. If we take the Indian position, as so far India is concerned, human rights are generally understood as a set of inalienable fundamental rights to which a person is inherently entitled just by the dint of being a human being. So, what we understood that human rights are conceived as universal and egalitarian, which are applicable to everyone and everywhere across the globe. One more feature of these rights is that they may exist as natural rights or as a legal rights. If we take the legal definition given in India, in our India Law of Protection of Human Rights Act 1983, human rights includes not only the rights which are given in the UDHR, but it also relates to right, liberty, equality, and dignity of individual, which are guaranteed under the Constitution of India, as well as embodied under the international covenants and enforceable by courts in India. The recognition of this inherent dignity and of the equal and inalienable rights of all members of human family is the foundation of freedom, justice, and peace in the world. Human rights, we know that human rights developed in 3 generations. Primarily, it was in civil and political rights. Second, it was so economic, social, and cultural rights, and the present one, that is solidarity rights, of which we are discussing in today's webinar. But to get an idea what are the areas where the human right should work, where the human right should implicate its properties, its features. So I would like to have some areas where human rights can play a very fantastic role, not only in nation building, also in overall or fullest development of the nation. The first one I can refer here, a human right-based economy. A human right-based economy can really break the biggest problem of human is the poverty. And that human right-based economy can only break that poverty. We know that rampant poverty and pervasive inequalities and structural discrimination are human rights violation, not only in India, but throughout the globe, and among the greatest global challenges of our time. Therefore, addressing them effectively requires measures grounded in human rights, renewed political commitment, and participation of all. So, especially those who are mostly affected. We need a new social contract which more fairly shares power, resources, and opportunities, and sets the foundation of a sustainable human rights-based economy. So, this, if we are able to contribute in the way where human rights-based economy can be possible, then the poverty can really be regulated, and that is the biggest work for the protection of human rights. We know in India, if we take the challenges in today's time, this is the biggest one. And if we talk about Indian laws, Indian legislation, then the crusader of these human rights and the principles was the chairman of drafting committee of Indian Constitution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who incorporated several provisions of human rights in Indian Constitution under Part 3 of Indian Constitution, that is in the name of fundamental rights, from Article 12 to Article 35, dealing with those civil and political rights which were incorporated under UDHR, and civil and political rights incorporated under Chapter 4, that is Dietary Principles of State Policy, which were again incorporated as second covenant of 1966, that is the additional covenant on economic, culture, and civil, economic, cultural rights. That is also available from Article 36 to 51 in our Constitution, which deals with not only about the equality, not about the freedom, but it always imposes some authority on state to consider those principles, consider those ethics, those morals, those requirements which were not considered as fundamental right under Part 3, but the constitution maker intentionally kept it under Part 4, so that whenever the economic development of the nation would be possible, they could be brought from Part 4 to Part 3. What happened? We already seen those conversion from Part 4 to Part 3, like right to education, which you got under Article 21A. We got right to education under 21 by Supreme Court. We got right to clean environment. So these all were human rights perspective, which were basically considered by constitution makers initially. Again, we can discuss that the constitutional mandate of the judiciary to protect human rights of the citizens. The machinery for redress is provided under Article 32 of Indian Constitution in the hand of Supreme Court, and 226 of Indian Constitution in the hand of High Courts. So an aggrieved person whose human rights in the name of fundamental rights or in the under Protection of Human Rights Act 93 have been violated, they can approach to this higher judiciary, that is High Court under Article 226, and to Supreme Court under Article 32 for the redressal of their grievances and enjoyment of their fundamental right in the name of human rights also.
We have a caller, Kushumita Chatterjee, a law student, year 6th semester from Hooghly Mohsin College. And let me ask you, how as a youth of the nation, what are your expectations and how we can achieve the goals of equality?
Good evening, ma'am. And today here my teacher Shoshinath Mondol is here, and I am very glad for that. Today I am telling about the youth, what they expected. Human rights are the basic rights and freedom that belong to every person in the world from birth until death. They apply regardless of where you are from, what you believe, or how you choose to live your life. Supported by several international conventions and treaties, such as the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948. These include cultural, economic, and political rights, such as right to life, liberty, education, and equality before law, and right of association, belief, free speech, information, religion, movement, and nationality. India is a signatory to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. As an Indian youth, I want free education, lots of job opportunity, free healthcare, no terrorism, no corruption, pollution-free environment, clean water, and lastly, enough food and shelter.
Thank you, Kushumita, for those wonderful words. And I fully agree with you that today's youth has the power to change the nation. The young mind is fresh and innovative and fulfill the dreams of India. Our next speaker is actor Bobby Chakraborty. Philosophically speaking, the rights of future generation are the rights of humanity to continue its existence. The need to extend the human genetic message into the future is deeply embedded in human biology and psychology. In essence, we are protecting ourselves and humanity by protecting the future generation. Bobby, I would like to know from you that how societies and particularly the rights of the child can be safeguarded in today's world?
Thank you so much, ma'am. Good evening, everybody. Shamiji, Amar Pranam Neben. I've been hearing all the speakers before me, and I'm really enlightened. Thank you, Rashtriya Manavidhikar Seva Trust, for inviting me today. Firstly, I would like to say that beyond being an actor, my introduction has been given by ma'am, but I still want to emphasize on one fact, that the social activist side of mine is many a times it's misunderstood, that my awareness programs that I'm doing in villages and cities within Calcutta, outside West Bengal, outside India, for many years, it's only against smoking and alcohol per se. But it is not that. It is against all kinds of harmful popular trends. Jonopriyo hujuk, Khotikarok Jonopriyo hujuk, all forms of harmful popular trends among the children. So among that, smoking can be one trend, alcohol can be on one trend, drugs can be one trend, using foul language can be one trend. There are other trends like online gaming, online gambling, pornography. So I'm fighting against all these harmful trends among children for a long time. So now let us come to today's topic that I've been asked to speak about: child rights. Human rights, among them children, with whom I'm working for many years now. So child rights, this day is being observed all around the world. It's a very special day. And child rights has been put down by the United Nations as well as the Constitution of India. So I would not like to speak on the child rights per se, but I would like to speak something differently. But let me first emphasize on the child rights, the basic child rights that the United Nations and the Constitution of India has put forth. Firstly, it is the right to nationality and an identity. Secondly, the right to health. Then the right to education, then the right to a family life, then the right to be protected against violence, then the right to have an opinion, then the right to be protected against armed conflicts, and lastly, the right to be protected from exploitation. So these are basically the child rights that a child should have, that a child is entitled upon. But I'm not going to speak about these. I'm going to speak about those children who have these rights, but they don't use these rights. They are misusing these rights. So I'm going to speak about that. I would request all the microphones which are not muted to be muted, please. It's a lot of disturbance that is coming on. So please, it's my request to mute your microphones, please. So I'm going to speak about those children, that sector of human beings who are children. They have these rights, yet they misuse the rights. So I'm going to speak about that. So first, let us come to the right to nationality and right to have an identity. Nationality, the sense that I am an Indian, the love for your country. It doesn't mean only 15th of August. It doesn't only, I'm again requesting, please mute your microphone. So firstly, let us talk about the children who are entitled upon the right of nationality. The Indian, the sense of being an Indian, the sense of loving our country, it is not only 15th of August. Sadly, it seems like it is only 15th of August when we love our country. And beyond that, we don't. We litter, we throw garbage, we urinate, we break laws. We do so many things that goes against the love for our country. Why? I've been all around the world beyond being an actor. Before being an actor, I was a marine engineer. I used to serve in the ships. I have been all around the world, and I'm sure you all have been too. Why do you think that an European country, American country, or the Southeast Asian countries, or the Arabic countries, why are they so clean? Why are they so organized? Why are they so advanced? And why is our country still lagging behind? Why is there so much of corruption in our country? Why is the corruption in the grassroots level? Because of that. Because a child right from the birth here is not, drilled the love of the country. It's only about one day, I feel so. A child in the European countries, a child in the American countries, they have been drilled in the mind. Don't throw a dustbin. Don't urinate on the road. Do not break a law. I'm sure the corruption and breaking of laws are there too, but the proportion is hell and heaven. Hell and heaven. So that is what I through my awareness programs, I tell the children, you have the rights. You all are privileged people. You have the rights to a nationality. You are Indians, but love your country. Use that right. Then what is the right for? That is the reason our country is lagging behind, because right from the grassroots level, the children are not, the sense of patriotism. Our freedom fighters, they gave so much of blood, their lives, their families for this freedom. But the children are not, so much of corruption. They're not explained the fact. They should be drilled in the mind. This freedom that you are having, you're born on the bed of roses. If the freedom fighters were not there, just imagine the condition we would be in. Slavery. So that is the first right, the right to nationality, and you're having an identity, but this right needs to be used properly and not misused. But I'm sorry, it is being misused, and that is where my awareness program comes in. Next, we come to right to health. Somebody who has the right to health, somebody who has the right amenities and can maintain their health, but that person is misusing. That person, in my awareness programs, I'm sure Bhatia ma'am knows because I've been to her school. There is something that I keep on prophesying in my awareness programs. It's a formula that I explain to the children. I have devised this formula. It's like a mathematics. We learn HCF, health, career, family in my awareness programs, and in mathematics, it's highest common factor. So similarly, it's health, career, and family in my awareness programs, in my way of telling the children. If your health goes, your career goes, and your career goes, your family goes. So we come to these two rights, right to health and right to family that a child has, but he can't misuse. He can't use, he's misusing it. So what is health? Health is not only physical health. Health means physical and mental health. But if a child grows up with this sense of mind that I need to be cool, I need to mix with the others, how I need to smoke, I need to do alcohol, I need to do all kinds of things that are harming my health. And I'm trying to mix in the crowd. I'm trying to be fashionable. I'm trying to be, in the upmarket. I'm trying to be friendly with the others. I'm trying to be with the flow. But the person, not understanding, he's misusing the health, the amenities that he's enjoying, but he can't use this right. Health goes, your career goes, and only not one person's health. Your career and your family goes with it. So that is what you are entitled with a family. But what about that? If you don't think about that, there are thousands and innumerable examples, as we all know. A child growing up with all these rights, with education, right to education. Where is that boy or a girl using that education? In education, we are learning biology, we are learning chemistry, we are learning what organs, kothay shorire kiki achil, heart, lungs, kidneys, and that boy, that girl, growing up, getting educated, learning biology, learning chemistry, the parents are spending lakhs and crores for that education. But that boy, that girl growing up and going to a cigarette shop, going to an alcohol shop, going to a hookah bar, doing drugs and creating a mess with those rights, the health, right to family, and right to education. Where is that person using those rights? That is where my awareness program comes in. And as I said, the health is not only physical health, it's mental health also. The drugs, as we call it, cigarette, alcohol, heroin, LSD, these are substance drugs, substance abuse. What about those drugs, the abstract drugs that are coming in through the smartphones? The addiction towards the violent video games, the video games infested with crime. You might be knowing only Free Fire and PUBG, but you might not be knowing there are thousands of other games which are actually graphic on crimes against women, which is actually making a boy or somebody, a young mind, playing something which is a crime towards women, which is rape, and that is being graphically represented through a video game. And these young minds, that is a drug that is going in. Sexual instinct, it's a very strong instinct. It's a drug. As Swamiji said, how are we civilized? Because we have controlled the violence, because we have controlled the sexual instinct. That is why we are living in a society. That is why we are living in a family. And that is where it's going all wrong. Sexual crimes against children, against women, and the age is going down. A 6-month-old baby is harmed. A 12-year-old girl is harmed. A 20-year-old woman is harmed. A 40-year-old woman, is 84-year-old woman is also gang raped. We are becoming animals because we are not controlling. And these drugs, once it goes inside the mind, the mental health goes for a toss. So where are we using those rights, the rights that are given, the rights to health? The child is not using it. And that is where my awareness program comes in. Right against violence. You know, a child inherently, I've been speaking with all the psychiatrists and all the psychologist friends, doctors that I have, and a chunk of their patients, as we all know, they are the teenagers who are inherently becoming violent because of these games, because of this social isolation, because the games come with the package of violence being an entertainment, form of entertainment. They are killing people, they are committing crimes inside and finding it a way for entertainment. They are earning points, they are finding gratification through those crimes, and that is getting inside their mind. Inherently, the real and virtual is getting all blurred. So that person obviously is behaving the same way in the real life. In school, we used to also maybe fight with our friends, like one slap like this. But the fights now, as we see, it's becoming so violent. One student killing another student. It's all bloody. The society, as we see, it has become so violent. In Maharashtra, 2 Swamijis, 2 sannyasis. You know, somebody said that they are kidnappers. Someone said. And there is such, the lack of reasoning, lack of questioning in the society. Nobody questioned. Everybody is going with the flow. Everybody is going with the harmful trend. Nobody questioned. Everybody with their stick and the rod killed those 2 sannyasis. We have seen that videos. That is happening in our society. The violent, insensitive society that we are living in. So if a child is having a right against violence, yet the child is becoming violent inside and the child becomes the perpetrator. So that is where my awareness program comes in. Against armed conflict, which is linked with the violence. He or she is being protected against armed conflict. But what about a child becoming so violent? And of course, the political system and the evil systems in the society, they are incorporating these youths, these young minds for their political vendetta and making them violent, and all these war crimes that are happening. That is one fact, but I'm trying my level best, to make them understand that life is beautiful. Life is even beautiful without these video games, without these online gambling and making a mess with the family. The father and mother is not giving money and the child is hanging himself or herself. Not giving money for the games, because this is gambling. I'm trying my level best to make them understand that this is gambling, jua. You are a juari. You are a gambler at the age of 12, 13, 14, 15. How worse life can be. They're not understanding. They're thinking it's a game, but every paidan mein aapko paisa dena padega. To wahi to jua hai. Wahi to jua hai. All these so-called celebrities. If you think I'm a celebrity, if you think I come from the entertainment world, I do my duty. Whenever I'm asked for an ad, which is sponsoring all these things and which is, celebrating this online gaming and crickets and MPL, I say no. I say no. That is my way of countering it. That is my contribution to the society. Money is not everything. Whenever I'm asked to come to a game show like these, there are so many game shows where these boys and girls, they are locked up in a room or a house, and all they do all kinds of filthy things. They abuse each other and all kinds of obscene, vulgar things, and that has become entertainment. So whenever I'm being asked to be a part of that kind of a game show, I said no. Whenever I've been asked that you'll be given a lot of money, I said no. I left so much in my life, not only for money. I want to give back to the society. Money is not everything. That is what I explain to the children. Give back to the society. Like I do in my own ways. It's not an NGO. I'm doing it all on my own with the help of yours. Like I'm telling Swamiji, I need to come to the Ramakrishna Mission schools. I've been trying for a long time, but nobody responds. As I've been coming to all the central schools, I want to come to all the schools everywhere. I want to come and, relay my thoughts to a child that use the rights that you have. It is not only a child not having the rights. It's about the child having the rights, but the child is not using it. Child is misusing it. And the last thing that I want to speak about, the last right that a child has or is being entitled upon is right against exploitation. We are in a very dark time, I'm telling you, and especially after COVID. When everything has become online, the dependence on a smartphone and online has made a child a slave to the smartphone. And through the smartphone comes in all kinds of evil entities and that animal instinct. You say, we speak about child pornography. We speak about a child watching a pornography and is degrading the mental health. But what about the cases that we are hearing? It's startling, where a child is producing pornography and thinking that is the way to become popular. That is the way to grab eyeballs, views, subscriptions. Ask me 20 years how to struggle and how to become famous. What is the word famous? अपनाদের মতন করে आप लोग को पता है कि आपको अगर एक आदमी भी पहचानते, एक औरत भी पहचानते, कुछ अच्छा क्या इसीलिए? तो यही समझाना है बच्चों को भी कि फेम क्या होता है. विख्यात और कुख्यात, famous and infamous, these are two words that they are not understanding. They are thinking doing anything and everything in front of the camera, any kind of things, you know, using all kinds of vulgar language, filthy language, insulting others, जिसको roasting बोलते हैं. YouTubers बन के सोच रहे हैं कि वो लोग legend बन गए. अरे भाई, तुम लोग का काम क्या? तुम लोग तो दूसरों को अपमान करते हो. ये तुम्हारा पेशा है. And that is the message that is going to a child. That is the message that is going to a child, that you know, strip in front of the camera and do all kinds of vulgar things. You will be very popular. Popularity नहीं है. वो famous नहीं है. That child, that poor child is infamous. And many a times the parents are incorporating the child. They are forgetting that these views, these are all virtual. God knows which creep and which pervert from which corner of the country or the world are doing. The path to the visibility is very important. That is what I tell the children. कैसे visible हुए हो? What is the path? What did you do to be visible? That is important. Not the visibility. Visibility तो कुछ भी करके एक इंसान को मार सकते हो और front page पे आ सकते हो newspaper में. That is the, you know, child is entitled upon the right against exploitation. But what if in today's times a child is forgetting, in the lust of getting views and in the lust of getting noted in Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, the child is self-exploiting himself and herself. What about that? That is where my awareness programs comes in, and I am trying my level best to fight against all these harmful popular trends among the children. And I'm sure you will also join hands with me, and I would love to come down to all the schools and colleges that you know of and you know, spread my beliefs. Thank you so much for having the patience of listening to me. Thank you so much.
At the end, I would like to conclude that policies grounded on human rights that addresses inequalities and build social justice will develop stronger economies. They drive more inclusive political system. They deepen trust. They help us to reach those furthest behind. They build hope. To be successful, we need to place human rights, including the right to development, at the core of our action. I look forward to intensifying our work together. We thank you all for your presence this evening.